I'm Sandy Stewart. I serve as Assistant Commissioner of Agriculture for North Carolina. And here at the North Carolina Department of Agriculture this afternoon, it's our pleasure to host a group from the General Consul of the country of Switzerland. And you folks work out of Atlanta, except for Hans. You actually live in Charlotte as an honorary consul for Switzerland. And so Peter Zimmerilli is the Swiss General Consul. Kimberly Schulman, you're the Trade Commissioner, and I guess you work in Atlanta as well.
As well, at the consulate,
yes. And Hans Brecher, you're a honorary consul and live in Charlotte, North Carolina. So you've got a little familiarity with the state of North Carolina as well. So tell me, what brings you to North Carolina and particularly here in Raleigh today?
Well, first of all, Sandy, thank you very much for having us, and it is a real pleasure being with you. Well, we came to Raleigh, to the Research Triangle, to understand a little bit better of what is going on here and to see what the Swiss companies are doing here in the region.
Mm-hmm. And we've got a lot of Swiss investment in North Carolina as well.
Yes, very happy to say so, yes. That Switzerland is one of the biggest investors. We are overall in the United States, we are the sixth largest investor in the United States. Mm-hmm. In North Carolina, we are number 5, I believe. Mm-hmm. And this is overall investment, but when we look at R&D, Switzerland is even number 1. So our Swiss companies invest heavily also in R&D, which makes in the end that our companies in general are paying very big salaries. Mm-hmm. The overall salary is over $100,000 that Swiss companies are paying. Swiss companies are actually the 4th biggest tax contributor among the foreign countries in the United States. So yes, we believe that our impact in the U.S. Economy is quite substantial.
In the trade between the United States and Switzerland, Kimberly, you're the Trade Commissioner for the Consul, and I understand Switzerland is or the United States now has surpassed Germany as the largest trade partner.
It used to be number 2 after Germany for many, many years, but this year for the first time, the U.S. is number 1 as far as export destination for Swiss companies.
Can you give us a flavor of what those exports are to the United States?
So mostly it would be, pharmaceutical, of course, the big pharma companies, chemicals, as well as machinery and machine tools. That's primarily the export.
And I think I learned something earlier talking with y'all that if you go in a Starbucks, you're very likely to be the beneficiary of some
right.
Swiss manufacturing.
Yes, exactly. Most of the machinery at most of Starbucks is made by a company in Switzerland, a very small city in Switzerland. That's correct, which most people don't know. As I always say, there's always a Swiss connection to most everything, but you usually don't see it. But in this case, you can taste the rewards almost daily from your Starbucks coffee. Mm-hmm.
Well, Hans, you've been in North Carolina for a number of years.
I moved to Charlotte 12 years ago. Yes, sir.
12 years ago, and so you've seen the business climate in North Carolina, and in North Carolina, we're proud to say is a state that's consistently ranked in the top 5 in the United States as places to do business. No doubt. How have you seen that change over the last 12 years or so since you've been here in North Carolina? And
what I have seen and what's really striking is the influx of people that move here has grown tremendously, and no doubt that this area has a lot to offer regarding climate, regarding connectivity, airports. It's a really tremendous place to be and to have a business.
When we look at agricultural production in North Carolina, it's very diverse, and we export particularly a lot of fruits and vegetables. Sweet potatoes is one of our primary exports to the European market. And one of the things we want to understand well as producers and suppliers of that European market is the expectation of the European consumer, and for what they find in a grocery store. And so So how would you, from the perspective in Switzerland, how would you describe that European consumer that our farmers are looking to supply?
Well, I can talk for Swiss consumers, and Swiss consumers are very demanding, and the part of the organic food has really grown in Switzerland and taken up a very important part. And I'm actually happy. I love sweet potatoes, so I'm happy.
We're happy about
good
that
quality
too.
sweet potatoes from North Carolina, and that's what really the Swiss are looking for: quality above all.
And the European market is one that does demand quality, certainly, and we know that there are a lot of things that the European consumers like about knowing some of the origin of their food, where it comes from, how it's produced, really.
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
And that standard, that's the European standard is really probably the highest standard in the world from that perspective, anyway.